Hello, everyone. What is going on? My name is Timpedia, and welcome to the Fidget Spinner 101 podcast.
Oh my god.
Stop. Oh, we're already starting.
We're into the memes.
We could, yeah, right into the goddamn memes.
Only
They haven't even gotten to Andrew yet.
So, Freeman, it's only
Andrew
because you
Freeman.
brought it up, but also on the Magic Twitter, they posted the hashtag original fidget spinner because there's a card called, what's it called?
Oh, I was just thinking of
Tumble
Sensei's
Magnet?
top because people are constantly spinning it.
No. It's called Tumble Magnet, and it looks almost exactly like a fidget spinner, and the card is, from, years ago. so fidget
gosh.
spinners, yo. But anyway,
Oh my god,
my
it
name's
does.
Tim.
It does look like a fidget spinner.
Please, let's just finish the intro, please. Please, I
I'm
can't.
I'm the host of the podcast. This is you're probably watching this on my channel, and almost definitely because unless people are starting to spread the files, like they're downloading the audio and then spreading it around. But
I'll put it on the blockchain, spreading it around.
yeah, that'd be sick.
Exactly.
Anyway, I'm
Go for
Andrew.
that
There you go.
Also known as Friedman, but for this episode, I'm that guy who owns a fidget spinner.
The shame.
The shame.
The shame.
Shame.
Don't knock it till you've spun it.
I have, and you know what? It's stupid.
Oh my god.
And I'm just Tyler. I'm always going to be just Tyler.
Always and
transition.
forever.
Always and forever.
But yeah, we actually have a lot of news to cover, so we should probably get right into it. This is the news story that hit seconds after the podcast last week.
There was so much news that hit right after last
Show
week's
notes.
podcast.
Because we talked about last week the Witcher Netflix show, and apparently Netflix was like, that's not enough, though.
It's
So
not enough.
here's the Castlevania Netflix TV anime.
What is a
It's
man?
an anime.
Wait,
Miserable
what did you
pile of
just say?
secrets.
I said it's an anime, but really excited.
It's an anime. Yeah, this should, I guess, for all intents and purposes, could have also gone in the weeb section, but it's something that we are definitely all really excited about. At least I am.
I've
It's
so
fine. Most
I've
of the news is pretty weeby anyway.
I've never really played a Castlevania game seriously. I played Castlevania 4 when
Ooh, that's a good one.
when I was at Drexel, and I went through a retro buying phase, and I bought like an SNES and an NES, and one of the games I got was Castlevania 4,
Hell yeah.
and that game's pretty good. I didn't beat it because didn't have a lot of time with it, but
Did you play Symphony? Did any of you guys play Symphony?
I've not played any of them, but what I
No,
have
I
watched is a
haven't.
bunch of times I watched the AVGN's Castlevania retrospective, so I know about a lot of
yeah.
them, and they seem really cool. So I've
Seen most of them done
cool.
through like speed runs and stuff.
Yeah, that
everyone
too.
loves doing
Oh
those.
my god.
What
All
is
those.
a man?
What is a man?
Miserable pile of secrets.
I'm gonna turn into a giant monster.
Hell yeah, dude! I love that game.
I've seen that
It was
plenty.
great. I played that shit, me and my cousin, on the PlayStation 1 a lot.
No,
That was one of our games.
It's pretty cool.
I don't know what it's based on. Like, obviously Richter is gonna be in it. I don't know if they're basing it off of like a game, like one of the games, or if it's just gonna be an original-esque story.
Either way, it anything like that as an anime, where so they could do like cool, like the magic and like the whip and stuff. It's gonna look cool compared to if they tried to do like a live action.
Yeah. The thing I'm really excited about this one is that this is like an actual Netflix original show. If you watch any other Netflix original anime,
Oh yeah.
it's not. It's a
not,
show that
yeah.
Netflix just has the exclusive streaming rights to. They had nothing to do with the inception of it. Whereas this is like they're actually in on the funding before the show gets created.
Okay, because they
Oh.
post their stuff. All the time under Netflix original. There's like 10 anime there already. It's like, wow, that was fast.
Yeah, no, a lot of it is just like I was complaining about Little Witch Academia last week, but stuff like Seven Deadly Sins. It's just shows that aired in Japan that
Yeah, that
Netflix
was on there
we
like
own.
immediately.
Yeah,
Was
that was like one of their big headliner ones.
Was Ghost in the Shell Arise also? I'm guessing that wasn't in. I thought that was. I thought that was like Netflix.
I'm not sure
published.
if it comes up with Netflix original. It means that they have like just the exclusive airing rights to it. But I don't know if they actually funded that one from the inception.
Gotcha.
Well, we don't know much about the show yet, but we saw some
We just got that
screenshots. And
teaser.
it looks
The
pretty sweet. So.
trailer. Yeah, it looks good.
Oh yeah, the
pretty-
trailer. I forgot about it.
It's coming out like roughly the same time as The Witcher 2.
Well, if it comes down to watching one of them, I mean,
I'm I'm watching both. I'm dropping whatever the fuck I'm doing. 'Cause,
Marathon mode, do it.
yeah, unless I'm getting a Switch during the summer and getting Zelda, I'm probably gonna just try to binge those.
I mean, after you beat Persona 5, right?
After I beat Persona 5, I should get Persona. Alright. Like, I took out, because I was on a thing last night. Actually, I'll save that for the follow-up later. Actually. Yeah, dude. Let's just say last week's discussion inspired me mildly.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Is that why you sent the Persona Feld 4 video the other day?
Oh my god, I saw that.
No, cause my friend, cause he was also trying to get me to play Persona 5. He's like, Tyler, I haven't beaten this game yet, but you gotta play. I'm like, yes, I know. I have another friend who's also trying to convince me to play this game.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so I've had many recommendations to play this game, and I will at some point.
All right. I don't want to pest you too hard, because then you won't want to play it.
No, I will, trust me. It's gonna happen.
All right.
All right, so we got a big block of Magic news this week.
A lot of magic.
Some of this intentional, some of this not intentional. So the first thing out of the two Magic stories that we got, this was another one that was like immediately after the podcast. This came out.
I think it was the next day.
It was Thursday last week.
It was morning up. I was busy, so I didn't get a chance to check the subreddit here about this. I just saw you guys flipping out about it.
Yeah,
in chat.
I started posting it in the group chat.
Oh my god!
And everyone, and I was like freaking out. So in August, the next yearly Commander product is supposed to be released, and it's going to be 4 tribal decks, and no one knows anything about them yet, except on Thursday, a Tumblr account or an Instagram account leaked a bunch of photos of some reprints and new cards for a 5-color dragon tribal deck, and these cards look. I remember
Cat
saying
dragon, Tim. What the hell?
so the cat dragon's pretty stupid and funny, and of course Leslie's gonna only run that card ever again. But honestly, like I was looking at it, and some of the cards actually aren't as good as I think we initially, because they all just seem, they're all really cool.
They're cool. They're a little bigger than what you'd see Wizards put out today in like a standard set.
Oh yeah.
But we were talking about this earlier. They've really toned back the power that you see in 5-color creatures, and it's kind of getting annoying.
Yeah.
Like you look back at older ones, like even like the older Sliver Legends, all the 5-mana 7/7s, and they don't do that anymore. 7/7's too big for 5 mana, even if it's every color in the game.
But they seem to be bringing it back with these. I think they're really trying to blow it out of the water. But the
power toughness is more balanced, but it's. Yeah, go ahead.
We have 5 cards that got leaked for the Dragon deck. All of them legendary creatures, so they're all capable of being commanders. 3 of them are 5-color color identity. One of them is Jund, and the other is Azorius. So you have basically 3 5-color commanders, and then 2 commanders that together make up the 4th, 5th color. But they don't have partner or anything. But you can split off and make 4 or 2 other decks that aren't 5-color off of these new cards. I don't want to go over all of them real quick. Obviously, there's a cat dragon, which is hilarious, and it makes cat dragon tokens that are shockingly cute. Wasitora, I believe, is.
Oh, is it the Kamigawa one?
Yeah. That's not.
Oh no, that's
the cat dragon.
That's the cat dragon.
Cat dragon.
Yeah, it just. Wow, I forgot what this one said even. I just remembered it made the tokens. That one's pretty good. That'll actually be a solid Jund commander, I think, for like an aggro deck.
It will be pretty solid, because a lot of the Jund commanders are very, like, sacrifice heavy. And this doesn't necessarily depend on that. Like, you can just build Big Dragon Tribal with this, and it'll still work.
Also, since we're not a Magic podcast, we're not going to read what every card does, because it'll just sound like gibberish to most people. But look up the cards
I'll give a high-level description.
They're still out there. If you go to Mythic Spoiler, that's where I go for a lot of... like a nice listing of spoilers. They have all these photos saved and stuff like that. So, the Dragon, who is probably going to be the commander out of the box for the deck.
This is the one I wanted to talk about the most, just because like the Dragon himself, his power is not that great for his cost.
Yeah.
But the thing is, this new keyword that's going to be appearing on them, that
Eminence.
Eminence, which I completely misread as Evanescence the first time I looked at it. I'm like, what the fuck is that doing as a card mechanic? But it's another one of those. It applies when you haven't played the card yet, and it's kind of always there. It's this always cost-reducing effect, which can make dragons, which have always been a very top-heavy creature type, a lot
it's like
more
having
competitive.
a Dragon Lord servant that's just always on the field.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty good, even when you can't cast your commander until turn like
Yeah, and,
was it
and
9
and
mana or something?
as people
7.
have pointed out, you don't have to build it 5 color. You could just have him
No,
be the
you
commander of like a Jund dragon deck.
Yeah, I mean you could build a 5-color to cast, or you can just leave him in the command zone. I know there are a lot of decks like I know they always use the Scarecrow legend that you could technically cast in any color.
Reaper King, yeah.
Yeah, stuff like that.
Then we have a new one from Kamigawa theme, which is funny because they just won't let Kamigawa die apparently.
They love like printing stuff in the supplementary sets, but they won't go
They
back
love
there 'cause
referencing it,
sucks.
like in the Shadows over Innistrad block, how Tamiyo talked about. There was like a whole story of her talking about Kamigawa, and yet they'll never go back to Kamigawa because they did so poorly. But they keep talking about it. Okagachi. Honestly, it's not. It's cool as
I'm
like
already
a
forgetting this
crackback
ability.
commander. This is the one where if it damages a player, if you got attacked by them, you exile a thing they control. It's cool, but like I'm not gonna attack you when you have this. I'm just gonna remove this and then attack you. Like now, the real broken one is Ramos, the Dragon Engine.
So he's interesting.
He's
because
kind of busted.
the thing is I wouldn't play him as a commander,
Yeah.
but I would totally play him in any 5-color deck.
Yes.
Because his ability to pump out door to nothingness mana, 2 of each color, that means after 5 or no, his ability is you get a 1/1 counter for each color of a multicolor spell, right?
Yeah.
Or no, it doesn't have to be. It's just a color of any spell. So worst case scenario, after you cast 5 spells, you get a free Progenitus if he's your commander.
Honestly,
that
though, you could just build him as
is
like
good.
a really good 5-color Voltron commander. Practically, just cast spells that buff him, and he just gets extra power based on that.
You could, even if you're not using the mana. Or what you could do is something like, if someone goes to Path to Exile your commander, you just float 10 mana,
Yeah.
and then bam, cast him out of the command zone again. So
yeah. He can literally
he
recast
actually is
himself.
pretty good 5-color Voltron.
And then the last one, the 2-color one, Taigam Ojutai Master, who I'm super jealous of. Literally just has text thrown on here about dragon spells not being counterable because, why let counters be answers in Commander where counters are already not very good.
Yeah.
But he has a lot of text on him, and he seems pretty solid. I don't know if he'll be a commander, but he'd certainly belong in any deck with white and blue that cares about casting spells. He's like a better Narset Transcendent, almost.
Basically.
Anyway, so that's the first Magic thing. So the Commander 2017 spoilers, a lot of people are wondering whether or not it's going to be like a 4 5-color decks now, or if it's just tribes and one of them happens to be 5-color.
You heard it here first, folks. It's 4 5-color decks, and one of them is Slivers.
Yeah, you have
heard it here
If
first.
if they don't care about Magic and they don't pay attention to Magic, they have heard it here first.
True. Like me.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you heard it first on the group chat when we were spamming about it.
Yeah. I was like, man, I don't know what the hell they're going off about. Slivers and
Oh God,
It's
yeah,
Oh,
splinters.
man, I gotta show you
heard
what
it.
the
You heard it
Slivers are.
here first. Friedman wants 4 5-color decks because that probably means Slivers are coming back as a new commander deck for new Sliver cards for him. So.
Hell yeah.
But that's pretty cool, and I can't wait to hear more because Commander product is one of the coolest products they do every year because we play Commander almost exclusively at this point. But the other news that is not about Commander, funny as soon as I say that, over the weekend there were 2 Grand Prix, which are like semi-minor, like not the biggest tournaments, Tyler, but they're pretty big. And they were both focused on Modern, which is doing shockingly well.
Yeah, I was honestly surprised. I was like, oh man, these would be the same list. It's going to be just like Eldrazi Tron versus Death Shadow with like one affinity guy in there. But I was surprised at the breakdown of
They were
winners this weekend.
crazy. I remember Friedman messaging me about these, and I was like, these are insane decks. I'm looking at the lists again. There was a tournament there was Grand Prix Kobe in Japan, and Grand Prix Copenhagen. And some of these lists, man, like Controlling Grixis Shadow, Lantern Control, Living End, Titan
I lost
Shift,
it at seeing
Storm.
an Affinity deck running Collected
Oh
Company.
my god, yeah, the
I'm like,
Affinity.
what the fuck am I looking at
Yeah,
here?
in at the Grand Prix Kobe, Affinity running one Collected Company is honestly,
It's ridiculous.
honestly, that tech is hilarious, but it totally works. If you can make the mana for it reasonable, like honestly, every creature in the deck gets hit by Collected Company.
Yeah. Oh my god, if you hit like 2 Etch Champions or
Oh
something
my
like that, that's
God.
ridiculous.
Busted, but
I mean, with Eldrazi, it's not as busted, but it's still it's a cool concept.
But the coolest thing was that basically every single deck in the top 8 was almost completely different. At Grand Prix Kobe, there were 2 control decks, Jeskai and Esper, so they only swapped a color, and there was an Eldrazi Tron and a white-black Eldrazi. But even those are not completely similar. Tron
they were pretty different from each other.
Yeah, because Tron is going for things like Walking Ballista or Karn Liberated or Ulamog or Emrakul, whereas White-Black Eldrazi is just focused on the low-to-the-ground Eldrazi aggro, even though they had a Lingering Souls and a Shriekmaw in their frickin' deck, which is just nuts.
Yeah, it was seeing stuff like Tide Hollow Scholar, Lingering Souls, Inquisition. I'm like, oh wow, they took my Black-White Tokens deck and made it into a real
Made it
deck.
into cool Eldrazi. And then over at Copenhagen, they had like Lantern Control. The fact that one of those made it to a top 8 is just... That's a lot of rage quitting to...
That's dedication to like force that many players to be bored all weekend.
Tyler,
with
you don't understand. This deck is like...
what does it do exactly?
So this deck doesn't play like any other deck. There's basically cards that... The main card of the deck is called Lantern of Insight, where it's a 1-cost artifact, and all it says is everyone plays with the top card of their library revealed.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have that. You can sacrifice it to make a player shuffle their library, and then you have a bunch of cheap artifacts where you basically make each player mill your top card, and you have cards that work around that, and you basically never let your opponent draw anything that matters ever.
Oh,
So
God.
you essentially lock your opponent out of the game, but the problem with this deck is it doesn't win very fast.
It takes
So-
forever to
takes a
win the
setup,
game. So
more or less.
usually people
Yeah.
just rage quit like halfway through because they're like, I can't freaking play Magic. I'm done with this garbage.
Damn.
Most people try and fight it, but the thing is, the longer you go, the worse off you are. Like
It's-
you're not going to get out of
Right,
the
'cause
lock
you're
once
not
they get to a
pulling
certain
any-
point.
Right,
It's
not
just
pulling
you're
any
waiting to
resources
die.
or
Yeah,
anything,
you
right?
can't get any answers because they're usually like, oh, I don't like your top card. Tap, mill your top card. Tap, mill your top card. Tap, mill your top card. Okay, you can have
Or
that
in
land,
this guy,
but you don't
if they
need...
mill like something good, like surgical extracted, so it's not in your deck anymore.
It's
like-
so bad, but Storm and Dredge made that Counters Company, which is like just nuts. Death Shadow, like 2 Death Shadow decks. Overall, it's just Modern is super healthy right now.
Yeah, there's a lot of
Super
diversity.
healthy,
It's
super
a lot
varied.
better.
Honestly,
than the way
it
it was
and
before.
Legacy are both doing fantastic right now since Miracle Ban. Legacy is still all over the place.
It's a sad sacrifice, but it was a necessary one.
No, it's... I mean, even Miracle's even coming back, yo. It's like on the rise again without
Topless
top, so
Miracles.
that's fine. But yeah, overall, cool Magic announcements. Well, leaks. The Commander stuff was a leak. I don't know if we said
Unconfirmed,
that out loud.
but pretty much confirmed.
I mean, it wasn't officially confirmed, but no one came out and was like, these cards are fake, and they don't look fake, so... But then, and then we have official news of like, wow, look at how good Modern's doing around the world. But anyway, we can finally move on from Magic cool news. This is something we can definitely all talk about.
Platinum Games.
Platinum Games. So this one, when I was looking for my anime news this week, this came up on one of the sites I go to. That Platinum Games is starting to self-publish their own games, and a lot of this had to do with they just recently released Bayonetta on PC, which took them so goddamn long because their publisher didn't want to release on PC.
Yeah.
And the re-release sold so well that Platinum Games has really picked up on the fact that like there is a market of PC gamers who want to play these games, even if they're ports of older games that have been made. People want to play them again. They don't want to hunt down hardware. You can always play these games on PC. And so Platinum Games is just like, we're going to publish our own shit so we can be on PC.
Yeah, I think what also helped push that was the new Nier game. That game did really
Nier
well.
sold
Yeah, Automata.
amazingly.
Yeah, that game sold really well. Surprisingly, because
still
I
wanna play that
know
one.
no one except for me, who's played the first one.
Oh, because the first one was bad.
I like the first. Fuck you! I like the first one.
I've heard mixed things about the first one. I've heard some people say it was really good, and some people say it was pretty nah.
I'll tell you right now, I don't really recommend it to anyone, but I really enjoyed it though, and I was even shocked when Automata got announced or whatever. I was like, the first one did well enough to get a second one.
You guys can afford a second one? That's crazy.
Yeah, right.
But it's like I played the demo of this one. I'm like, this is actually not too bad. It's like an action / like bullet hell game. It's
Dude, I watched a video of Automata. That game looks just nutty. Just nutty all over the place. But this is cool. Like, I remember I tried the demo of Bayonetta years ago, and I was terrible at it. And Platinum Games just seems to be one of those companies that even when they make mistakes, they have cool hype stuff in their games. Like the Transformers game they did, I heard was pretty good actually.
Oh, Devastation! Yeah, that game was fucking great. That game was good.
And then, but then they have some kind of duds like Ninja Turtles was supposed to be pretty bad, and Legend of Korra wasn't great.
Even though that was like one of their flagship games, but I didn't like it.
What?
Mad World.
Yeah, I remember that. another. Platinum Games seems to certainly be polarizing.
They hit up good stuff or not so good stuff.
But like Vanquish, I've heard like great things about.
I love
okay things about.
Vanquish. That's another game I played and no one else I know played.
Well, it's on PC now, and apparently it and Bayonetta did good enough that I think this is just good news because Platinum has been so whipped around by publishers. Like Bayonetta's only on Nintendo stuff.
Oh, Bayonetta 2, yeah.
Bayonetta 2 was
sold exclusive rights.
But then Scalebound, before that got canceled, was only on Xbox, and I can't believe Sony hasn't pegged them for something.
I'm looking at their games right now. I forgot Anarchy Reigns was a thing.
Yeah, that game was a kind of neat fighting arena game thing, I think.
Yeah. If you're, that super hard weeb, that just wants to like.
I mean, Bayonetta was in the game, so.
Yeah.
But yeah, not much to say. It's just it's cool it's cool that a Japanese company would kind of move towards PC because Japan has been so not
dead set
PC
on consoles
for so long. Because I mean, over there, it's just not like. Isn't it mostly just like Vitas and 3DSs at this point, right? And smartphones.
Yeah. Fucking Vitas, man. They're just JRPG machines now.
Honestly, yeah, they are.
But
there's nothing wrong with that.
It's surprisingly insightful for a Japanese company to be like, we want to move on to PC because we recognize in the West it's huge.
I mean, you can also sort of see this in Nintendo's decision about the Switch is that mobile gaming is bigger than anything else.
Yeah.
So they're still catering to the console market, but they realize deep down like people don't want to play on a PC in Japan. They want to be on the move.
Apparently they need to be on the move because your homes are so tiny.
Actually. I've never been in Japan, but fuck trying to live in Japan. I couldn't do it.
Too tall for that.
Speaking of Japan,
right.
though,
I'm too tall and wide
too tall for sure.
That.
Yeah.
Speaking of Japan, though, Freeman.
Oh, man. Talk about my weekly rant about why I hate Square Enix. We got another one this week. So, I don't know if this one happened, day of the podcast last week or if it was over the weekend, but Square Enix had some kind of, investor conference, and they talked about their strategy going forward. And, if anyone's been following the news, Square Enix is, absolutely garbage at releasing games on time. So they're like, here's our new strategy going forward. Every year, there's going to be 2 major releases at least. And they put up all their flagship titles and say, we want to release all these before 2020. And, the first 4 are, 2 Dragon Quest games, a Dragon Quest remake, the Final Fantasy 12 remake, and then right in, the bottom right-hand corner, near, kind of where it says 2020, you've got Final Fantasy 7 remake and Kingdom Hearts 3. And seeing that, they're not confirming that it's going to be released in 2020. They're saying by 2020, so we could get it as early as next winter. Highly doubt it. Yeah. It's coming out 2021.
I mean, 7 is reasonably far away. 7 I wouldn't have expected soon at all.
Maybe if you say 7 Part 1, but they've already announced the 7 remake is being split into multiple parts.
That's true, too.
Yeah, because Tetsuya's supposed to be working on... He's literally working on all of this. This is, almost reinforces what I was saying last week.
Dude, that guy's overworked.
Yeah, there's no fucking way. he said he was gonna deliver on this, and I'm like, we all know you're not, dude. We all know,
Like
and this just confirms it.
Like
And
they
I'm
had to
not
take
mad.
15 away from him to get it done.
Yeah, and I'm not mad. Just don't bullshit us. We know, you guys know it's not gonna work out for the best.
I mean, I feel like it'd be more reasonable if they had said Final Fantasy VII will be done by 2020, like the whole thing, maybe. But Kingdom Hearts 3 has no excuse. That game has been
zero.
in development for a long
I mean, it was like 6 months ago they announced it's finally in full development, which makes me ask,
is
what
dumb
was the
because
wait,
the team doing before that? They only
put
recently
out-
went into full development.
What?
Yeah, that was like a part
Well,
of the
then
news.
it makes sense. Like, honestly,
But like it was announced 2 years ago with a tech demo and a video. Like, what were they doing in that
Yes.
time?
They even said it, like, that's the same time they announced, like, oh, it's coming to Xbox One. 2 years ago. 2 years ago.
Oh wait, it's coming to Xbox One.
what has
Yeah,
Square Enix
that was,
themselves
like-
been working on?
That was, like, one of the biggest news, like, that came out of, like
I mean,
at the same
look-
time that trailer came out.
I mean,
the
Square actually
gameplay.
pulled off the impossible. They managed to take a dead MMO, Final Fantasy 14, and then actually revitalize it to
Yeah.
the point where it's a successful MMO again.
Honestly,
Yeah.
considering
Like, you
how
don't see
big the
that
shift
happen.
had to be, maybe they had to swing a lot of people around to work on 14 because they really wanted to save it.
It was mostly this one guy. I forget what his name is, Nave P or something. He's famous within Square Enix as just being like the guy who has the perfect idea, and he was the one who really came back and said like, "This is all the shit that's wrong with 14. Why are you making people like wait in like made up lines to get into zones, like stuff like that, like very clearly Japanese ideas that didn't really get thought through." But
Yeah.
he was the one who turned them around. I don't think he's involved in any of these projects. Mostly Tetsuya Nomura, and he's not the speedster of the gaming industry.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's so funny that you said that, like, they had to take Final Fantasy 13 away from him to finish it. Like, one of the podcasts I was listening to at work today, they were literally talking about how they should just have a strategy of you start the games and then we'll take them away from you so that we can actually finish the game.
It might just work.
It's so crazy, it just might work.
It's
Yeah,
so,
I'm
it's
not
always
surprised.
so it's probably just my ignorance. I'm always shocked when it's like, here's the name of one guy who's working on all these projects, but like, does everyone else just not contribute? Is it like, he's the idea machine and we all just are like artists and programmers who just make it happen?
So
Yeah,
the problem with
so
Tetsuya Nomura is he changes his mind very frequently. So he comes in, he has an idea, and then he spends like a month going, how do we make that work in a game? And then he says, okay, let me tie it into the plot line. But then if something else comes up and he wants to do that instead, he might drop something they've already made feasible. Like, there's one part where so like when he did Kingdom Hearts 2, they had to add a musical sequence for the Little Mermaid episodes.
Okay.
And during 15, he saw some musical. He's like, well, why don't we have like an opera sequence in 15? Because that would be like a throwback to Final Fantasy 6, which everyone loves. And they're like trying to make that work. And then a month later, he's like, nah, don't do that. So he has these ideas. He comes in, he questions if they're feasible, and then he drops them if he can't fit it into.
So is this kind of like what they said about Hideo when he left, when he
Well, I'll
got kicked
tell
out of
ya.
Konami?
I'll tell you right now, designers, after working with designers and being a
Oh,
designer,
you have more experience than we do.
man, we are fucking full of ourselves. And sometimes, like, especially like when you're like those bigger guys and like you think you have like all this money and time and like resources to throw around, right? Like Hideo, there like not a lot of things came out, right? When Hideo left, but after
I
playing,
should have probably said
5
Kojima because that's the name people know.
yeah, Hideo Kojima, yeah, like. The thing is,
Kojima-kun.
there were so many things in that game. I was like, it was like almost the equivalent of Grand Theft Auto. I'm talking about
Like open world stuff.
yeah, like Metal Gear Solid 5, like all
Yeah,
the open
yeah.
world stuff, all of the guns, all the shit you can do. I'm like, holy hell! Like they did so much. They did so much, and I'm like, how much money did they sink into this game? I'm like, I know for a fact Metal Gear Solid ain't pulling Grand Theft Auto money. They're not. Or like Madden, like they sell a lot, but like the amount of resources and things that he like the
Yeah, they
grand
spend so much on
things-
these games.
Yeah, like he spends all this resources. I could almost like put money on like Konami's like, listen, you can't be doing this grand shit anymore. We don't have the money for it. Like, and that's like the aspect of it. I bet he wanted too much, especially with that that game he was doing with oh my god, that
Del
horror
Toro
game.
and
Yeah, Del Toro and fucking
Silent Hill.
yeah. I was trying to remember the director's name, but yeah, like I imagine like he probably won an asinine amount of resources that Konami's like, listen, like our investors, they want this game out by this because they're scared of like losing their money over time, and then like the same thing I bet with Tetsuya.
And he was like, nanomachines, son.
Fucking nanomachines, right? That's what happened with 13. I bet like a lot of their resources were taken up. And it's like, listen, you can't be working on this game if you're just going to keep prolonging it with these fucking ideas, no matter how good they are and whether you're the brainchild or not.
The game has
I mean,
to come out and
that's
make
what
money
happened with
at some
Versus
point.
13. So, like, he kept getting pulled off of Versus 13 to do 13, then 13.2, then 13.3. And each time they'd come back, they'd be like, okay, well, what were we doing? Nah, that idea doesn't sound too good anymore. Let's do something else. Then they're like, oh, we got to retool the engine because we're moving from PS3 to PS4. So there were a lot of setbacks and a lot of, like, essentially restarts.
And then they made a new game.
And they made a new game. In that case, I do agree. Like, from working in experience and like YouTube, Freeman, like you guys, like you have like experience in like creating stuff. It's just like the publisher wants it done this way, and like sometimes it's like, well, this isn't feasible. And those times I'm like, okay, I think they were right to try to get these guys to try to push them more towards a product line.
Like everyone always talks about how evil publishers are, but sometimes like a creator almost will never stop on their own.
Yeah,
they need
sometimes
someone there to be like, nah,
wall.
dude, stop, take a chill pill for a minute and let.
So that's the thing's weird about my office is our like the heads always want more, and we're the ones like, no, it's not feasible. We can't do that.
That's how it should be.
Like we dream
That's
small.
how it should be, right? Like it's fine to have like these grandiose dreams, but like you have to be realistic if you want to sell a quality product. I should say.
Yeah, definitely.
We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. So. We still have more news because that's 5 stories, but we actually have 2 more stories that came up in the last 2 days.
2 more. Yeah, I didn't see this next one.
Yeah, this one. I don't. So Tyler, I was talking to Freeman before you got on. I don't. Freeman adding more stuff as we talk.
I don't want to put it in there because it'll spoil the joke. But
yesterday I saw a headline, thanks to CinemaSins on Twitter, actually, that Animaniacs is being rebooted with Steven Spielberg working on it.
No shit.
Tyler, me and Freeman were talking about, did you watch Animaniacs or anything?
Yes, I did.
Okay, I just making sure, because, so, me and Freeman both agreed, actually, well, I don't want to speak for Freeman on mic, but I actually didn't
I'll chime in with my opinion.
Super love Animaniacs. But the first thing that was actually in the CinemaSins tweet that they put out, and that my reaction was hopefully this means those other Warner Brothers cartoons might come back, including things like Pinky and the Brain and Freakazoid.
Oh yeah,
I was thinking the same exact thing as you were talking about it.
Yeah, because
that's what I watched Animaniacs for. I watched it for Pinky and the Brain, honestly.
Yep.
And like I didn't give really too much shits about Animaniacs, honestly.
Yeah, the Animaniacs themselves I didn't super love, but it was like Pinky and the Brain and Freakazoid was so funny.
Yeah,
like,
I like those.
I still constantly reference the I am moron, like 23, and like all of those Freakazoid bits are just so quick and so funny. And Pinky and the Brain is just such a classic. Like I could probably still rattle off most of the theme song if I needed to. Like those were just such classics. And like Animaniacs was the thing that held it all together. But it was like I just want to watch Animaniacs for what the parts are that don't involve the Animaniacs themselves.
Yeah, I'm hoping it's successful because I really want it to open the door for more things like this.
Yeah. So I don't think there was any news about like who's bringing it back or what. Or many details, but it's just Steven Spielberg is attached to the project. So hopefully that means good things. All right, Freeman, go ahead. Run away with the anime corner.
All right, welcome to the anime corner where we talk about shitty anime news.
Okay, but hold on. You have to, for this first, for the only thing you had before we started, you have to just read off what I had in the docket.
So I wrote Hunter x Hunter is coming out of hiatus x hiatus. So,
fucking Christ.
So for anyone who reads the Hunter x Hunter manga, the author, so he's legendary. He's Togashi. He's known for doing Yu Yu Hakusho. He's married to the author. Well, no, everyone knows his name. He did Yu Yu Hakusho. He's married to the woman who wrote Sailor Moon. They're like a power couple of manga.
Yeah, I was gonna say like they can rule the world of manga.
For any other manga, if you go on like a 2-year hiatus, you're lucky if you come back. If you immediately go on another 2-year hiatus, you're done. But this manga, hiatus x hiatus. They do this all the time because he's an older guy. He claims back pain, but we all know he loves playing Dragon Quest, and he always goes on hiatus when the new one comes out. And there was like a string of a bunch of Dragon Quest over the last year, so everyone's like, that's got to be why he's on hiatus.
Man, I want to be that successful.
Yo,
just quit my job for a hot second, yo.
Like it was
Persona
super
5
odd.
came out. I'm just gonna take off.
But then have your job be like,
chapters,
dude, we'll take you back immediately as soon as you're ready.
Yeah, right. Like
Sorry
the art from his last couple chapters were like super messy, and like clearly he was rushing or he wasn't. A lot
Gotta
of
play
people
Dragon
help,
Age. Gotta give
but the thing is,
Dragon Quest.
when
gotta
he
fix.
when he re-releases them, he draws them really well. So he's clearly just like, Dragon Quest. Let me go do that instead of releasing this chapter, and he goes on hiatus. But point is, June 26th, it's coming out again. I hope we get a long run because the anime got really close to where the manga was. And the anime, which is also done by One Punch Man studio Madhouse, was really good. If anyone likes that long-running battle shonen, Hunter x Hunter is probably one of the best, and I highly recommend it. And I highly recommend reading the manga. But yeah, so that was the only story I was going to talk about. But I remembered one that I got trolled by earlier this week.
Real quick though about Hunter x Hunter, do you think is it one of those shows that could go past the manga, or is the manga like going to be over soon, or what?
The manga's nowhere near close to ending. They just revealed the fact that like the world is way larger than they think it is. Each arc is kind of self-contained, so they could go anywhere. They do have a lot of room to expand. It doesn't feel like they've reached like the ceiling of.
So do you think they'll do
what's
like a
interesting in the
Game
show.
of Thrones thing where they're just pulling ahead and they're just going to split off and do their own thing?
Oh, definitely not.
Kind of like Attack on Titan, I guess, is a better example.
Attack on Titan waited for the manga, but the thing is, with a lot of anime, is very rarely do they go outside of the source material. You used to see it a lot more commonly with stuff like the original Fullmetal Alchemist, where they started early to capitalize on hype.
That's what I'm thinking of. Sorry.
Yeah, they go to capitalize on hype and they go beyond. They don't think they're gonna need to like ever come back and do it again. So like with Fullmetal Alchemist, they went 52 episodes. They wrote their own original ending starting episode 30. And then it was very unique that they went back and actually readapted it just because of how popular it was.
Brotherhood is what I watched, and that's a good show.
And you see it less and less because one series that Shonen Jump really they misplayed this one was a show called Blue Exorcist, and the manga had just come out. It was really good, and then it was a 26 episode show, and around episode 20, 21-ish, they're like, shit, there's not enough stuff to like wrap this up in a quality way. Let's just rewrite a character backstory and introduce this villain that wasn't in the manga. And that's what they did. But then the manga got way more popular the year after, and they're like, "Fuck, we misplayed this one. Like, we need another anime."
This one.
But like, we can't go back because we fucked up the timeline. So they're like, "Oh, let's just start season 2 at episode 18 and pretend the last 8 episodes didn't happen." And that's what they did with season 2. So if you went in knowing it was great, but a lot of fans were very confused because suddenly like characters who are evil aren't evil; they're back to being normal and good again. Like. Yeah, so
they retconned their own show after it was out.
They had to, and kind of as a general policy, Shonen Jump usually won't go beyond the manga. You'll see, you saw with Naruto where they're like, yeah, you can do these filler arcs, but you can't like make up your own plot lines that contradict the source material.
Right.
Which Bleach did a lot accidentally because they were really bad.
Jesus, Tight Kubo, please.
But yeah, Hunter. The thing is, Studio Madhouse was never known for doing sequels. It was kind of a meme. And when they announced One Punch Man Season 2, everyone started celebrating because the meme was finally over. But I doubt they're coming back to do Hunter again. The most recent Hunter x Hunter was the second time it's had an anime so far. So I highly doubt there's going to be a third one. But the manga's still pretty hype.
Still interesting.
So what is the point of switching animation houses for an anime?
Every anime when it started up has like a production committee, and they figure out which studio do they want to do it, and it's a mix of how much does it cost versus talent versus what does the creator want. So, sorry, what was the question?
No, because
what's the
you said this
point
is the second time Hunter x Hunter had a studio work on an anime for it.
Oh, so it was back in the 90s, like right after the popularity of Hakusho, Hunter x Hunter got rushed out to have an anime, but they didn't have really enough content, and it kind of ran short.
So you're not saying this is a continuation. This is a second.
No. It was essentially a reboot,
okay.
But it covered a lot of the same ground because they were like, okay, well the manga's gone almost double since the last anime. Let's just animate the whole thing again because
okay, that makes more sense. I thought
like
it was handing off the show from one studio to another.
Oh no, that does happen sometimes frequently. It was one of the shows we were talking about during our real topic. Is one of my favorites, Full Metal Panic. they handed off the show between season 1 and 2, and the second animation studio, Kyoto Animation, they're like godlike. If you have a scene with a sunset in it, chances are that they had pulled some work on that to make it look good. But sometimes some studios are better than others. They usually don't trade off too much between seasons anymore. But a lot of studios will also choose to accept or reject certain work. Like Kyoto Animation doesn't do source material where they can't actually purchase their own legal rights to it. Whereas Madhouse, they like to jump around concepts. They won't come back for season 2 because they always want to be like pushing what they're doing next.
Thank God they came back for season 2 of One Punch, because One Punch season 1 was great.
I mean, I think they couldn't refuse this one.
One Punch
this has been
is
their
just too
biggest one in a
unique
while.
and too cool, I think. Like, it's just such an interesting idea.
I think it was also because it had a huge amount of popularity overseas, which they didn't predict at all.
Yeah, everybody and their mom was watching that fucking show.
Yeah, what a way to get popular is to get done outside of Japan.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Like going outside of your Japanese views to spread stuff. Oh.
All right, Freeman, why don't you cover our last news story so we can take our break and go to the topic?
All right, so this last one isn't really important news, but I saw it as an announcement just because the new anime season's in about 4 weeks. And I'm looking at my Reddit feed, and it says, new anime announced just because. And I sat there and I'm like, what did that headline just say? The show is called Just Because, but I misread it as show announced just because.
All right.
And I thought of that while we started this. I had to throw that in the notes.
God. All right.
Oh wait, I got one more to just to contribute. Yeah, to this. So like, everybody knows Berserk, especially the people in the Weeb Central.
Yeah.
And it's
Everyone
been
knows
a
Berserk.
new favorite of mine as of recently, as these guys know. And for a long time, I didn't know this. This is like, you guys knew this, but Berserk was like on the level of Game of Thrones. It's like, oh, when's it gonna come out? Who knows? But it's been going on forever.
Oh yeah, in terms of the
for
books.
a long time.
Yeah, they got off the boat though. They finally got
And then they went on hiatus.
They went on hiatus. But they came back though recently. They actually started to put out like
the manga, you mean?
Yeah, the manga.
Yeah,
yeah. Not the anime. That's not.
Well, I mean, the anime is
anime
coming out,
not
but
fantastic.
It's not fantastic. That's why I'm not talking about it.
Okay.
Well, my buddy said the second season's been getting better though.
Supposedly, I watched like maybe 2 or 3 episodes, and I was like, I can't do it. I can't deal with the frying pan noise.
But what?
Clang, clang,
clang, clang, clang. Huh?
But what about Berserk? So what about the manga then? Sorry, I didn't mean.
It's going on now. The worst part was, I'm glad that I got into it at such a great time, and I feel bad for everybody who's been following it. But like, right as I caught up, the guy who writes it, writes and like draws or whatever, he started writing back up again, and now it's like on a regular. I think he's released 3 or 4
weekly or monthly?
chapters. It's I think it's bi-monthly.
Oh, all right, yeah. So
like
that's how he keeps
bi-monthly.
the drawing quality up.
Yeah, so like, I'm fine with that as long as I'm getting new stuff and I don't have to be like everybody else. But I still don't see an ending in sight. But at least I'm getting new chapters. So there's that, and I'm like pretty excited about it.
I can't imagine something being on hiatus for that long. Although it feels like Dresden Files is on hiatus forever. So
it's been too long. It's been too many years. I thought he was gonna put out word about a new book soon, but he's no.
Yeah, you think so? I still check his website every few days, and it's just like barely updated. And I'm like,
Fair.
I need peace talks. I
Never
need it.
Never gonna get it. Well,
But anyway, we're going to take our break.
take a break.
I know I didn't go
Back
to drink.
shortly.
But when we come back, we are going to talk about hype. So
In
get
general.
hyped.
So get hyped.
Yeah, get it.
Well, that was a quick break, and especially quick for you guys listening. And we're back, and we're here to talk about hype, what it is, and what has mostly what. Originally, this topic was just me wanting to talk about cool stuff that we all get hype about. But then Freeman had an extra discussion he wanted to tack on. So go ahead, Freeman. You can just start with that.
So I remember looking in the group chat, and you were like, "This week is hype," and I remember I just started memeing. I'm like, "Nani?"
Nani?
Yeah.
Anime just, and I was like, "Wait a minute, what are we actually
Tyler's
doing?"
like, what does this actually mean as a topic?
And then I thought, why don't we tie this in? Like, our very first topic from episode 0 was like, what is magic? And
Yeah.
I thought, like, before we talk about what makes us hype, talk about whether hype is actually a good thing or not. because I've got a cautionary tale for everyone about hype.
Yes.
So I want everyone to rewind back to, I don't remember what year it was. It was 2007 when Super Smash Bros. Brawl gets announced.
Oh my god.
And I'm sitting here as one of those Melee kids going, oh man, best game ever, just got announced. And then Nintendo's like, all right, here's what we're doing. We're going to announce one thing about the game every day until it releases. So every morning for like 250 days, I got up before school, I loaded up Smash Bros. Dojo, which was the official website before they came out with the name Smash Bros. Brawl. And they had one new thing like, oh, look, the Bomb is back in the game. Oh, shit, Sonic is a character. So, like, you never knew what was going to be the announcement every day. And I got beyond hype for this game, and it finally came out. And I had hyped it up to be, like, the be-all, end-all game. There was never going to be a game to beat this.
Oh, no.
And, oh, man, was I disappointed when Brawl came out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
That's
everybody else. Yeah.
So, I know, this is not a unique story, but this is a warning that hype is not always good. But that said, everyone should get hyped all the time for everything.
Except for Super Smash Bros.
Except for Super Smash Bros. Don't be fooled.
No, I feel like that's happened a lot though. Like that's happened a lot with things you get really anticipated for, like, you know, especially like with things that, you know, you've already enjoyed, right? It's almost like you want to feel that enjoyment again, right?
Oh, like
with something new. That's how
Like
I
the magic
feel.
of discovering it.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's like, you know, you had amazing feels when you played Super Smash Bros. Melee, right? And you're like, oh, they can only go, like, you know, up from here, and then you play Brawl, and you're like, holy fuck.
But the thing is, like, Melee wasn't my first Smash. I loved Smash 64 when I finally got a GameCube. It was straight up like, this is 100% better than the old Smash. Like, I thought there was no way the next one could possibly not be better.
Right? And then it came
And then
out,
bam,
and you're like, holy
the
shit.
hype killed me.
I'm
Proven
flaccid.
wrong.
Basically.
I mean, you're still seeing stuff like this. Like, I remember when I got duped into buying No Man's Sky because my brother wanted it.
Damn, you fucked up.
And
You played
oh,
yourself.
that fucked up hard.
Seriously.
Congratulations, you
Yourself, son.
played yourself.
Another one.
Another one.
Yeah, so
13 was one
hype
for me.
I don't know. It met the exact amount of hype I had for it when it came out.
I guess if we're gonna all mention one, I guess trying to think. Maybe a good one for me is when we were in high school, I played a lot of Oblivion. I mean, Oblivion's still probably my top 3 games of all time, if not number 1. So when Bethesda said we're doing Fallout 3, I was like, oh man, Ed's talked about Fallout for years, but this is a modern Fallout. It's like Oblivion, and I never finished that game.
Damn.
I just was like, I just don't care. Oh, no, better one. Off the same thing. Skyrim. I was so hyped for Skyrim because I'm like, Oblivion's so good. And then I don't care about Skyrim at all.
What the hell, man?
I don't.
Man, weird.
I don't know what to tell you. I played a bunch of Skyrim and I was like, man,
thought
this is
Skyrim
not
was
nearly
great.
as fun as Oblivion. The Oblivion was so much better than this.
Damn. Did I tell you guys about... I should tell you guys off this because this story is way too long.
Oh,
but
boy.
I have a story about Oblivion. And why I love Oblivion, I fucking hate it. Like,
No.
God damn it.
No.
No, dude, you don't understand, like, how old was I? Whatever high school me was, it was just... He was nothing but
idiot.
salty.
We were all idiots.
It's like, but more or less, it was just like there was a lot of confliction with the missions, and it fucked me up.
Did you
I'll
say
give you,
confliction?
yeah. So like, all right,
What do you mean by that?
I'll give you the summarized version,
All right, here we
and
go.
it involves doing like having the Assassin's Guild, right? The Assassin's Guild thing. Tim,
The
you'll
Dark
probably
Brotherhood.
remember. Yeah, the Dark Brotherhood.
The
and
Dark Brotherhood.
The Dank Brotherhood, and and you gotta go and you gotta pretty much just whack all these people on the list, right? This whole family, if you remember that, Tim.
Yes.
Yeah, well, you know, me, being the multitasker that I am, decides, hey, I'm gonna join all the guilds because, you know, why not?
Well, yeah. You do.
You know, well, you know, Tim. There's a little rules, you know, and all of them, You know, if you get kicked out, you know, things happen.
I know
Yeah,
what you did.
yeah, you know what I did now. It pissed me off.
Yeah.
I killed while I was, like, you know, also in the Thieves Guild. I killed the person in the Fighters Guild. I did something else I wasn't supposed to do. Got kicked out of, like, at least 3 guilds while trying to do this one mission for the Dank Brotherhood. It was ridiculous. I was like, man, fuck this game. Fuck this game. And then the other one, like, that was just the condensed part. And then there's, like, one thing that I did that screwed me out of the main mission. I couldn't even complete the main mission because of it. Yep. And that's a story for another time.
Man.
Too mad.
I can understand that. I can understand the multitasking. I guess for me, the thing was, like, I would join a guild, and I would just relentlessly finish that guild. I would be like, okay, I go back, give me another quest, give me another quest, give me another quest, and I would just power through all the quests for that guild in, like, a straight shot. Like, what? Okay, today, I'm going to master the Fighters Guild. It's going to happen. Today or tomorrow, I'm going to just do it.
Yeah, well, that's what I did
So
now
I didn't have
and
this
forever.
crossover problem.
Yeah, I think that's what you were meant to do, but the thing is, I was like, why the fuck would I do that when I can just, like, oh, while I'm here, I can also, while I'm killing this guy, I could just hop on over, like, half a mile. Didn't know that the secret tunnel led to the castle in which I was killing the guy. And it's like, oh, you got kicked out of the Thieves Guild because you killed someone on the job. I'm like, you know what? Fuck this game.
Yeah, no, because fast travel makes it so easy to just bounce, like, oh, I finished the quest, fly back to you, get the quest, go back, like, bounce around so easily for one quest line. Plus, I was always like, I want to get to the end of this guild because I want my rewards to be not trash. Like, I'm only getting crap stuff from all these people I'm doing stuff for, but if I get to the end, then I get the good stuff.
You do get the good stuff.
And I'm like, that is paramount, the good stuff. But yeah, man, talk about hype. Talk about, oh my god, the first time I finished the main quest of Oblivion, jeez. That
So
was
good.
such hype.
Yeah, if only I could do that, you know.
Tyler.
If only I could have done that.
Freeman, what's a hype thing? Please.
What's a hype thing?
Yeah.
Just list something on my list.
I mean, I didn't even write down a list, but I
just started scribbling them down right before we started talking, but I know Tyler can resonate with this. Attack on Titan 2 is stupid fucking hype every single week. Oh my god. I can't take this. I can't take knowing it ends in like 4 weeks.
And that's the worst.
It's too good.
It's just gonna end soon, and then
It's gonna end. It's gonna be like 8 years till season 3 comes out, something like that.
Oh,
it'll
yeah,
only
but
be
the
4
formula-
episodes.
I can't take the
formula.
wait, man.
the wait
Like,
for
all
4 episodes.
Like, I went into the thread when I don't want to talk about spoilers. There was a reveal this season. There. So the reveal happened a long time ago in the manga, and all of the manga readers came into the one thread and started shit posting all the memes from like 3 years ago when the actual reveal happened in the manga. Like, oh man, this wait. It's like, the problem is it builds up the hype. I was convinced that Attack on Titan 2 was going to be the show where it's like, nah, there's no way this is going to meet the hype. And so far, it really is.
Yeah, that's some
It's
pretty
good.
good
It's
stuff.
So
fucking
okay,
hype.
if we're gonna make this like a more broad topic about hype in general than just what are cool hype things,
That was what the topic was.
is expected and still surpassed hype better, or is surprise hype better?
So the thing, for a lot of these things, you can't, you know there's gonna be expected hype. Like, Attack on Titan was a massive series. Everyone loved it. You can't go into the second season knowing, oh, don't worry, it's only been 4 years. Everyone's gonna be mellow about this show coming back.
But like, I haven't,
Like,
I've heard all these things, but I still haven't watched or seen or anything really for Attack on Titan season 1 beyond the theme, which is pretty hype.
I mean, the thing is, with the way they left off season 2, they didn't leave it on a very low note. They left it on this very, what the fuck is gonna happen next kind of note.
Even
And
better,
season.
Gurren. When I started watching Gurren, I had no idea, and then I kept getting hype all the time, and I was so happy and shocked how hype it
Yeah,
was.
there's
So
different
that's
kinds.
That's actually a good example of the difference. So Studio Trigger, formerly Gainax, who did Kill la Kill and Gurren Lagann, they plan almost all their shows around the fact that this is an original series. You don't have any preconceived notions going in. You don't expect anything. And they like to build on that. So, like with Gurren, it starts off small and it gradually gets bigger, and that's the whole theme
does
of the
it
show.
get
So
bigger?
they're throwing galaxies at each other, and it was like hype meters were out of control going into
So
episode
hype.
22, where it's like, oh fuck, everything's in space now. But
It's in
you go and
space
you watch,
now.
like you go and you watch Kill la Kill, and it starts off like it's people in stripper outfits fighting each other. And you're like, what the fuck is
And then
this?
you learn it's
And
just
then-
about clothes.
And then
It's
they're like,
just
oh
about
man,
clothes.
conspiracy theory. Oh man, the mom is evil. Oh man, you were never real the whole time. Oh man, the world's at war. And it just starts escalating. And with that kind of show is they build the hype. They don't expect you to have it. And it's always this unexpectedly better than you thought.
And it
and-
starts at the base.
And it builds. But they don't like throw it in your face like, hey, guess what? There's going to be a hype show. Like, it just kind of happens. And with that show, or specifically like with Kill la Kill, the pleasant surprise made it a lot better than I thought it was going to
But
be.
would you prefer the pleasant surprise, or would you prefer the sense of like Attack on Titan season 2? I was expecting a lot, and it paid off.
So, like I was saying before, like there's some things like Attack on Titan, especially with sequels, you can't help but acknowledge the fact that there is a lot of hype going into this. For a lot of like first season shows or a lot of original series, you can afford to do the surprise tactic. One of the biggest shows in the anime community that everyone loves to talk about is Madoka Magica, which was a deconstruction of the magical girl genre. It started off looking like a regular, like, oh, this is a Sailor Moon ripoff, and then episode 3 had like a, I don't want to call it a dark twist. It had something a little more gruesome than you expect from a magical girl anime, and the rest of the show
Holy shit.
had a much darker tone to it, and it was because of that surprise everyone loved it. But if you went in telling everyone like, oh my god, everyone get excited, look at this crazy deep dark deconstruction, no one would have given a shit about it. It was the surprise that built up an otherwise unknown show. But going into something like Titan, the creators knew like this is going to be hype. We need to direct this in such a way that we play off the energy the audience has going in. So I will spoil the first episode of season 2. So jump ahead a minute if you don't want to hear this. But they open with like the shot of the wall with the Titans and the announcement that, oh man, there's Titans not only in the wall but physically within the range of the wall, and they got to send people out, and they just jump into a fight scene 2 minutes in, and it was really cool, and it was exactly what we were waiting 4 years for. Like, they delivered on exactly what they thought the fans wanted, especially from the first episode alone.
Fair
End
enough.
of spoilers.
That was even less than a
So-
minute. That was good.
Yeah, no, I tried to just get that out there, being as vague as possible, but it was good. They delivered what we wanted to see, and they've been maintaining both the tone and suspense so far. I like to tell my friends that Titan is as much a mystery series as it is an action series, and they've done a great job of balancing it so far in this season. It's definitely actually exceeding my expectations for what season 2 is going to have.
Wow.
And that's why it's hype.
Tyler, what about you? What's a hype thing?
Just the hype thing in general. I just want to talk about like or at least express my preference of now that I'm thinking about it. I like the Gurren approach, right? Like I like the build, like the surprise hype. Like I go into a show and I don't even expect it. Like I think when I was talking to you guys about Breaking Bad, right?
Mm-hmm.
And how I found it, like how I like found the show, how I was just like flipping through channels, and I didn't really know what to expect from this show. Like I was just flipping through channels, all of a sudden, like also spoilers. The one character Hank, like it's vague spoilers, but like Hank gets shot at by these two guys. He doesn't have a gun, and I'm like, oh wait, I thought he was supposed to be a cop or something. Why doesn't he have a gun? And then all of a sudden, like he just kills the two guys that are like attacking him. I'm like, what the fuck? And then the episode just ends there. I'm like, what happened? What happened? And I looked, it was like, I had spoiled it for myself. It was like season like 3 or something like that. I'm like, holy fuck, I gotta go back and watch this show. And like, it just built up like all this unexpected hype that I wasn't sure of that, and I was like, man, I like the surprise. Like some shows like, that I'm hyped for, it's like, okay, it better meet my expectations or else I'm not going to be as pleased. Like, I don't like viewing it that way, but that's just the person I am.
Yeah.
Right? Like Attack on Titan. I'm like, man, if this fucking season ain't fucking good, then, fuck this show in particular. But, like, I could get into a fresh show and be like, holy fuck, they're throwing galaxies like fucking ninja star. Oh my god, what the... And then that's what I like. I like going off in that sense.
That's what I like.
That's what I like.
So here's another question then for discussion a little bit. Like most of what we're talking about is like anime and stuff. Is that just because that's what we're into, or does Japan, like, it seems like they really like having the whole hype thing?
Have you
I mean,
seen
it's
any of
obvious
their
anime
other
is the
shows?
superior
Have you
form of
seen
entertainment.
any of their other like forms of media? It's nothing but hype. It's nothing but people yelling at you through a TV. You gotta buy this product! Oh! Everything's like all
Oh
big
my god,
and
the fucking
flashy.
the board of like reaction people for daytime talk shows.
Yes!
Everyone's just like reaction, like, oh!
It's nothing but hype, man. That is their marketing.
It's excitement. That's
so
what
then,
it is. It's,
here's the question: why isn't that a thing here?
Oddly enough, I'm surprised it's not.
It isn't.
Actually, you see during
Like-
daytime TV here, it kind of is.
Well,
What,
but that's
hype?
just like get it like sell, blah blah blah. But like,
Yeah.
like why? Like, is it because we have so much more serious stuff? Like you were saying, you're hype about like Breaking Bad's pretty hype, but it's
Yeah.
certainly not the same. Breaking Bad, you're like, man, that was just really good and really satisfying. Whereas with like Gurren, you're like, yeah. Woo.
I don't know. Like, I've noticed that, and like, I mean, I haven't like paid too much attention to other cultures, but you definitely see a huge contrast in people wanting, at least from my perspective, like in the States, they want a more like tangible, more, even if they think it's realistic, but it really isn't, but a more like, I don't know, tangible story, right? Like real characters doing like real things. Compared to like Japan or whatever, like not saying
Is it
that they
just
don't have the
because
capacity.
outside of Japan, real people don't yell things all the time?
Probably, I don't know.
I mean, I'm watching probably the closest thing you'll get to live action anime. If you watch the show Into the Badlands, it's basically they came with a plot to make up a series where it's just a bunch of kung fu sequences, and it's great. It's enjoyable. It feels like I'm watching an anime because there's one dude who gets like superpowers when he bleeds.
it's actually anime.
It's like pretty much an anime, but the thing is, it's popular enough that it warrants another season, but it's not doing that well because a lot of people don't find it well grounded in reality.
Mm-hmm.
Like you look at what was that show that HBO had? Westworld.
Yeah.
Like it was a unique enough concept, but it was very well grounded in something that could have been realistic.
Black Mirror,
that's-
same thing.
Yeah, it's these shows that kind of resemble realism that people want to see a unique twist on something that could happen. They don't want to see like ninjas and Power
So
Rangers.
is it honestly that like here people are just too like tied to the real and tied to almost like, I don't want to say depressing, but like Game of Thrones is not a happy show.
Yeah, no, you bring up a good
But it's
not,
so
though.
popular. Whereas in like the like anime and Japanese things, it's always about like spirit of victory and
friendship and gotta do better and
like your will
mean,
to
yeah.
succeed is tied to so much in Japanese culture.
I mean, I'm even going to tie this into how a lot of games look these days. Like, everyone is going for, like, the gritty, dark, realistic approach. And then, like, people
I
describe
think-
Overwatch to me as cartoony.
I think
And
that used to be more true. I think when we were getting out of high school and into college, we were in the brown age. I think we're starting to move away from that.
We're
with things
moving
like
away.
Splatoon and Overwatch, like you said.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, when someone describes Overwatch, that doesn't seem cartoony to me. Like, I've played enough, like, Nintendo games growing up to know, like, that's cartoony. I like that. Like, it doesn't come off as childish to me, but to a lot of people it does. Like, if you say we're going to play Mario Party, that doesn't look like a real mature game that adults play.
because
Like,
it's not.
but let's be real here. Everyone plays Mario Party.
Yeah, if you want to lose your fucking friends, you want to not be
Yeah,
friends
really.
anymore, Freeman Jesus.
Yeah, we
could
should all
break
play
out the
Mario
Mario
Party.
Party.
Please,
and-
no.
And
Oh my
play
God.
Monopoly at the same time.
Oh, God.
Are you trying to kill me?
You
sounds
trying
like
to kill me?
me.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. We trying to not be friends anymore? Trying not to do this podcast anymore? You know what?
I'm just
That'll
going to be
the.
here alone talking into the mic.
Let's say,
We're going to have to put up a note like this week's canceled due to Mario Party 6.
or just like the last hurrah. It's just we're streaming / recording like a video of us just playing Mario Party
Oh
and just
my God.
documenting the end of a friendship right there.
And someone getting shot.
Someone's
Series
getting
finale.
Jesus.
And that's how you build hype for season 2.
That's how you build hype. Are they ever gonna be back? Is
Will they ever
Freeman,
be friends long enough to play it again and lose it all again?
Did Tyler really deserve that many stars?
Find out next time if Tim will actually carry through on his threat of stabbing Tyler for every star that he steals.
And that's a show right there. That's a
Yeah,
show.
right.
See, that's real. That's America would eat that shit up. They would. I'm telling you, we should pitch that to not Fox because man, they're
That
really bad
RL
at
violence.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, but that's a good question though. Like cultures in general, I don't know why.
Is it maybe because
It's always
like,
been like
a
that,
young
though.
thing?
It's always been like that. Like westerns have always been dark. Like, we've always been into like war movies. Like I'm talking about, United States Americans. Like, like we've always been into those dark stories. Like the lone drifter who, sets off on a quest of revenge. Or
What makes it more compelling here, though, to have like a dark, like a? We have so many stories of like person with a sordid past turns into, they finally turn and do the right thing, and it's like, why is that? I mean, I guess they still have that in Japan. Like watching that Yakuza 0 Let's Play.
yeah, they got
like,
that. They got that. They got that in Japan, but like I don't know. Like
but like we focus on it so much more, and we like prove that the person's dark. And it's like they're still doing bad things, even though they're on the good side. And like we have movies like Suicide Squad, where it's like, look at all these villains, even though it's a bad movie.
God,
look at all these villains.
shitty example. I'm gonna go with Last of Us here, just because how I feel about it, and this gives me an opportunity to touch base on why I personally like the dark story. Right, like it was a journey, but not only was it just a journey, and it was like about Joel, getting Ellie across the state. It was really about the human element, right? And it presented that age-old question, like, what would you do in X dire situation, right?
Yeah.
And that game illustrated a good thing, like, not a good thing, but like, not everybody is going to be the good guy, right? Like everybody pictures themselves, after the bomb drops and the zombie horde takes over, that you're gonna be the guy that sits on top of like the zombie horde, like you saved all the lives, but in reality it's like you didn't save all the guys, right? You didn't get the girl, like your daughter died and you're just doing what you can to survive, and then it's like, oh, you find out the one thing that gave you peace in this world is gonna die, right? What are you gonna do? It's like, oh well, she's dying, but she's saving a lot of lives. No, you'd probably do whatever you could in your power to like go and kill all those people that are gonna kill your like daughter. Spoiler for The Last of Us, in case you haven't played it since 2000.
What? You just spoiled it for me.
Thanks, Tyler.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you're welcome. Oh yeah, shit, you haven't played it.
Yeah, I haven't played it. You thought I was
Fuck
kidding.
off, Tyler.
Hell. Oh my god, I fucked up.
Ruined it.
It's fine. I knew bits and pieces.
Podcast is over.
Podcast is over. That was our
Talk
Super
about
Mario
stabbing
Party.
you for something like.
Let's move right to Mario Party.
That was Mario Party, but man,
That was the
that was the Mario Party. My bad.
So now every time we get into an argument, we're just gonna call it the Mario Party effect.
That's it. We're playing Mario Party.
Playing Mario Party tomorrow. Fuck it. Fuck D&D. We're playing Mario
Is that like
Party.
Netflix and chill? It's like, oh, we're in an argument. It's like, nah, we're playing Mario Party now.
You still hanging out? Nah, we're playing Mario Party.
Yeah. Like, oh, instead of smashing, you're gonna just smash their face and got it. I'm not trying to be R. Kelly. I'm trying to be Chris Brown. You feel me?
Oh my
Too soon? Nah, it's fine.
Nah, it's been a while.
It's been a while, but yeah, like I enjoy that human element. Like I don't know, that's what I
do
enjoy
too.
it.
Like you were mentioning like war movies and stuff. My dad and I watched Hacksaw Ridge a few weeks ago.
Oh yeah.
Man, that movie is intense. That's one of those that movie Dunkirk coming out. Oh my god. That movie looks so tense. I might just like have a heart attack if I watch that movie.
Christopher Nolan brings also the hype. Not only the tension, but he brings the hype.
But then you watch something like Gurren, where it's like shouting at the top of your lungs, and that's so hype. Like, is it just a lack of exposure that means people don't try both, or is it like a youth thing? Like, is it like because we're younger, we tend to enjoy this kind of thing more? Like that. To be fair, like our parents' generation never had anime.
I think it might be a generational thing. So like you go a little bit further back, and movies are like just starting to get a little more realistic. You're starting to be able to get to the point where special effects look like they could be lifelike. Like it's not clear. Like when an explosion goes off, you watch Transformers, it looks pretty real. But you go back to like Indiana Jones, not all of them are like perfect special effects. special effects. Stepping over my tongue here. But as we get to the point where you can resemble realism very well, you sometimes see a little bit of like escapism. People want to watch shows that are intentionally not like real life. Like I personally, like Gurren is one of my favorites, and one of my favorite scenes is Simon's in Gurren and he figures out how to use the warp drive, and he warps to Rossi, who's going to kill himself, and he launches himself out of his robot, screaming Rossi's name, power slides across the rock, and just yells at him to grit his teeth because he just flies and punches him in the face. That's something you will not see in real life, and it was so insane because that's not something you're ever going to see.
No.
And that's personally why I love a lot of these things. It's like you're not going to see that in real life. You're not going to see that on TV in any other way. And that builds a lot of excitement to see these things that could never be real.
Where are you drawing all of this power from?
It's just great. I just think it's honestly just great. I don't know how else to describe it either.
So do you think honestly, anime, like what was I watching? Actually, it was Freeman. We were talking about the other day, Super Eye Patch Wolf, talking about why Attack on Titan's so popular and about how like Attack on Titan's kind of in pop culture because it's become so big, and I feel like maybe that's a thing that couldn't have happened even a few years ago. You couldn't have had a show like Attack on Titan get big because the generation that grew up with things like hype and anime and cartoons a lot more is growing up and spending their money on this kind of thing.
Or it's also the fact that, a lot of it's more available. It was on Netflix shortly after it came out, and that caused a big boom. And availability is one thing, but something I just reminded myself of was that the last big anime that was pretty iconic with everyone our age group was probably something like Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
And the thing about Dragon Ball Z is, you got these rip guys standing around, who's going to win, who's going to be stronger. And one of my friends compared it to watching WWE.
No,
and
stop,
it was the same.
Please.
It was the same kind of excitement, going like, "Oh man, is he gonna beat the Undertaker?"
You can't do this to me. You can't do this to me.
Are they still on Namek? Are they still at WrestleMania?
You can't. You can't bring my child into this.
Tyler, wrestling is just an anime.
No.
Like, don't get me wrong.
No.
They're different, but it's the same kind of excitement of like, who's gonna win this fight? Who's gonna win?
I'm ruined.
Is John Cena a Super Saiyan?
Ruined.
When we play D&D tomorrow, I'm gonna play this clip of you just like soul-crushingly depressed over.
Dude, you don't. Oh God.
Did I shatter your universe with that?
Audience, I'm dead. Listeners, I'm dead. Remember me how I was a douchebag.
I was gonna say watching real life anime.
God, don't bring me back to life with the Dragon Balls. Don't bring me back.
WWE was hype. It was exciting to watch. It was people fighting in a way that real people don't fight. You don't get in someone's face, talk about cheating their girlfriend, and then throw a chair at them. Like that's not something real people do. But it was so fucking cool to watch it on TV.
You know what though? I'm gonna compose myself to at least say, you're right. You're absolutely right. You're 100. You're not even 100%. You're 120% right. Holy fuck! And I hope the listeners, whoever's listening,
so is that what it
this.
is? Really? Is that really what it is? It's just more easily consumable and easily understandable wrestling. That's why anime is so appealing to us.
If you translated WWE into a hand-drawn anime, it's the same thing.
So
it's the same thing.
So wait. Have we come to the scientific conclusion that the reason anime is becoming more popular and the reason hype is becoming more and more popular like this is because anime is just wrestling with superpowers?
WrestleMania is just the World Martial Arts Tournament.
Oh my God!
I wouldn't doubt. And the thing is, a lot of these kids, like a lot of them, they are getting into anime and they are getting into these kinds of things.
It's not as weird anymore.
It's not.
I mean, look at Netflix, like we were talking about, like all those Netflix originals that are an anime, and I wouldn't be surprised if a bunch of the cartoons and stuff are more anime, like in the Netflix kids section.
Oh man.
I know, there's definitely perception going away. Like everyone would always say, "Oh, you watch anime, you must like hentai," and now it's 50-50. You're like, either people are like 50, like, oh man, do you have a waifu pillow? Or, oh cool, what shows have you seen? So it's like, even though there is still that stigma there that anime watchers are weirdos, it is becoming more mainstream, and it's not weird to watch
definitely
anime anymore. And that's sort of why you see these rise in shows kind of like, the Badlands, where they're more fantasy-esque, things that you don't like expect out of real life.
Not to get too real for a minute, but is it also because the world is kind of a crappy place?
Damn, why I gotta bring it there? No,
all right, so I'm gonna be real here.
We were all thinking
anime is totally my like escape mechanism. It lets me watch these cool worlds that don't exist as I do my 9-to-5 job.
Dude, all you want to do when you're watching Gurren is go out and like save the world and scream in someone's face about how the spiral is created by the past and the future, or tell someone to grit their teeth and then go fight on a volcano.
Dude, it doesn't even have to be unrealistic. One of my favorite shows is called Food Wars.
Oh my god, I've heard.
And
Luigi
viewers, if you
talk
watch
about
the
this.
show,
I've seen clips.
I'm warning you, because the author used to draw hentai before he drew
of course.
Food Wars. So the first episode, someone has a foodgasm, and it's a little too real.
It's a little
too
real.
And the rest of the show is a little more toned down, but it's at its core, it's a battle anime based around cooking. And
like
that show got me like, except it's like Iron Chef the anime.
It sounds better.
Luigi's talked about it before.
Of course you would.
It's funny and it's really good, but the problem is the first episode is like, if you weren't paying attention, you'd think someone's watching porn. But it's so fucking good. I love the show. And that's one of those shows where watching it made me want to do something in real life. Like, I tried cooking some of the weird dishes they did in that show. Like, he faked a pork roast by taking potatoes, mashing them, cooking them in thick cut bacon, and then the grease kind of gave the potatoes the consistency of lightly cooked meat.
Oh my god,
Luigi
showed us that clip a long time ago.
Oh, with the meat juice,
yeah, like
and then everyone's
like they hand him no meat at all except for like some sauce.
Yep.
Or like,
this is the first episode. It's so good.
And I think Luigi shows that, and he brings out and it looks like a steak. And like, where did this come from? Well, I did all this crazy stuff, and now it looks like a steak.
And for some of the episodes are unrealistic. Like, you can't that meat dish is obviously fake, but later on in the series, they do stuff like a high pressurized curry breaded pocket, and it was like, you could reasonably do that. It's dumb because it's anime, but this is a real thing you could do. And that it could be real excitement got to me.
Yeah.
So it wasn't necessarily the Gurren like, I want a drill to come out of my arm so I can punch a hole through the moon. It was more like, holy shit, this guy cooking this curry is super fucking cool. So some of it's escapism, some of it is just entertainment, honestly.
Well, you honestly also can't help but feel like, I know every single time I rewatch the last episode of Gurren, I'm like, man, I feel good today. I'm gonna do something today. And it's like a shot of adrenaline every time you watch that, where it's like, this like just hits home super hard, not because it's realistic, but because you can feel the like passion. It's something about those Japanese voices too. Not like, obviously I watch Gurren dubbed, but like even in like Japanese things,
both.
Like
they're both really
like
good.
I keep showing you guys the Yakuza stuff, and I've just been watching more of that Let's Play, and it just gets like for some reason every yelling voice is in Japanese, like in your head, because Americans just don't do this outside of dubs for Japanese things.
Yeah.
There's no American show like Walter, like in America. Tyler, you were talking about Breaking Bad. Like, when Walter White wants to get menacing, he gets really quiet.
Yeah.
And really, really serious. Whereas when you're watching Gurren, it's like,
the contrast.
I mean, that's also kind of just how anime is. Like, everything is a very exaggerated, more large than life, and that's kind of brings back the difference between stuff in Japan and stuff in the U.S. The U.S. is a little more subdued, and it tries to be a little more realistic to how a real person would be. But like, anime high school is nothing like real Japanese high school. No one is as outgoing as these characters
are.
They're
all
like,
introverts.
A lot of people are very quiet and reserved because that's how the culture is. And anime is sort of this, I don't call it unrealistic, but it is this more interesting version of real life. For a lot of shows.
So do you think because Japanese culture tends to be more extreme, like introvert, they all fantasize more about being extreme extroverts?
A little bit. It's kind of like in the U.S. Our lives are very kind of mundane, so having this like dark and gritty approach to it is cool. Seeing Walter White go to be this like drug lord, you're like, oh man, I can never do that, but that's really cool.
Well, or you could do it because he's just a high school teacher.
Yeah, and it does sort of resonate with this could be real. Whereas with anime, this is not real, but look how cool this is. And that's the thing, you don't, like, with US media, you don't see this, look how cool it is, but there's no way this is real.
Yeah.
Like, probably the closest I've seen to that in a while is, we were talking about this, the show that, the Fairy Tales.
Once Upon a Time.
Once Upon a Time. Like, that was...
God.
Like, that's almost, in a nutshell, what it is. Like, you have, in the real world, you have something that could be real, but then you tie in these fairy tales that everyone loves.
Literally grounded in the real world.
And that was their way of grounding this in realism to the point that people would watch it.
And they do. My God.
And yeah, they do. It's a popular show.
I
watched a good chunk of one of the seasons. It was pretty good.
It means that there's more episodes for Val's sister to make me watch.
God.
Oh, no.
Oh, I've watched a bunch of it. They both teamed up and were like, Tim,
you gotta watch
some Once Upon a Time.
Trash. Garbage. Just kidding. I can't say anything for once because I've never seen it.
Yeah, really. We're literally talking about the anime that it gets watched. Now you guys are both in that a lot deeper than I am, but I love.
Oh, well, we'll change that.
We'll change that. No worries.
Dude, like every day, like, oh my God, I just repicture like watching more Yakuza. I'm like, this is so hype. This is great.
I need to get you guys to watch more of Hero Academia. It stops being goofy and starts being hype real fast.
Oh my God, that was so goofy.
It gets so much more hype.
Yeah, that was since last time. Since last time, everybody, Freeman showed our D&D squad the first episode of Hero Academia. And man, that show was good.
I didn't see it.
I forgot how goofy the first episode is. It's very different than the rest of the show. You guys left early that night. I think it was...
Oh, did you?
It
Tyler,
was
you
when
and
Tim and I
Leslie
did
left?
our... We did our overpriced sealed event.
Yeah, that was
at
okay.
Tim's
Yeah,
house.
that was the other night when we left.
Oh my God, yeah, that was Sunday.
Yeah.
God, so
Wait,
overpriced.
no, was that Sunday?
Early
Yeah.
as fuck.
Because
No, it was...
we didn't hang out.
No,
Memorial Day.
it was last Thursday because I took off from work, so we had some extra time.
That's what I freaking thought. That's why I
Yeah.
said D&D group, because I was like, after D&D we did. Yeah, because you
But
guys left.
Oh yeah,
early
everyone
on
left
Thursday.
normal time, but then me and
right.
Luigi, we didn't have to leave early.
Yeah.
Or
and
on
Freeman's
time.
like, hey, why don't I just show you guys My Hero Academia? And it's like,
Plus, I didn't want to go out in the rain yet.
so goofy.
You got to keep with it. It gets real good. By the way, second season of that is airing. That show is hype. They're in a tournament arc. It's also WWE. It's great.
WWE. Oh no, man, my life is ruined. I'm having a crisis.
About
Might as
get
well
worse.
replace that. Might as well replace that John Cena poster with a Goku poster.
Might as well, man. Might as well.
As soon as you replace his Goku playmat, which is John Cena playmat.
Oh my God! Yeah, the Dragon
see
Ball
it.
My
playmat
Dragon
that Tyler
Ball
has.
playmat with a fucking John Cena because it's all anime. Fuck it.
Oh,
It's just like, Tom, why'd you change your Dragon Ball playmat? It's all anime now. It's all anime.
oh my God! Imagine a playmat where you unrolled it and it's John Cena's picture, and every time you unroll it goes. Burr, burr, burr,
Yeah,
burr.
you know what? I'm looking for that right now. Fuck it. Let's see. What do we got here? WWE.
I'm pretty sure there aren't a lot of sound-enabled playmats.
Well, obviously.
No, but is there a John Cena playmat? Is the question.
Oh, I'm sure. There has to be.
His name is John.
There's some kind of WWE card game.
Of course
There is. It's on mobile phones.
Oh, good lord.
One of the podcasts I listened to talked about it a while ago.
There is no playmat
said
that
it.
I'm seeing for John Cena.
All right, now I'm gonna get it on the Google. This is really great for the audio listeners.
Yeah, the clacking and the mid research. It's fine.
Clack clack clack.
Clickety clack.
Well, as soon as I googled it,
Yeah, I can't
someone
find it.
posted. Oh, let me. Actually, no one's gonna hear this. Oh my God, dude! Just show the playmat. This is terrible. All right, that's not even John Cena.
I'm seeing Playboy magazines that they have been in, not playmats. I'm like, but I need playmats.
I found John Cena slippers on Amazon.
We're approaching the
you
weird
see
part of the
them?
internet.
Or it's just like an invisible pair of like
Can't see him.
slippers.
No, they're actual slippers. They're out of stock
Jesus
on Amazon.
Christ.
You clearly missed the joke.
Tim.
Oh.
You can't see. Just
can't
Oh
see.
my, get
This time is
out.
No, you get out. You didn't get the joke. The internet gets the joke.
Yo, wait. Okay, Babies R Us, $75. WWE
yeah.
John Cena neon clock, and in the middle it says "Never give up," and then around the circle it says "Hustle, loyalty, and respect." John
Oh my
Cena.
god. No, I found the best playmat. Holy cow. it's a picture that depicts Macho Man Randy Savage while
Oh
like
my god.
Jesus like is like looking over the world and he's just like doing a flying elbow drop to Jesus. I need this in my life.
No, I found the best thing at Babies R Us, a John Cena stand-up poster for only $38. John Cena can stand in your room doing the hand thing whenever you need him.
All right.
Why is Babies R Us selling this stuff?
Wait, why is there a John Cena costume for kids? All it is
Everyone wants to be
a
him.
shirt that says "Never Give Up" and then a drawn
Yeah.
picture. It's like an anime.
Oh my god! I just
wait.
I just saw the photo of just going to slam Jesus. This
Found
is great.
it. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, the link you posted.
I posted the
Excuse
link
me.
to the chat. Oh god, I'm terrible. This is terrible. Everything's
Oh, that
terrible.
was the sound I heard. I need this playmat.
I need this.
Well, oh, that's awesome.
Leslie's like, what?
Just what?
All right, before we get way too away from the audio
Oh
podcast.
my god.
Yeah, what were we talking
Hype.
about again? Oh yeah.
Hype. Why don't well? All right, let's just go through one last time. One more thing, just because this podcast started late and we've already gone for like an hour and a half. Why don't we just each list one really hype thing that we haven't discussed yet? So no Gurren.
No, Garen. Oh, who was that? Who
The
wants
most
to
hype.
start?
Like one really hype thing. I mean, mine is kind of abstract because it isn't like one thing that's hype, but it's one thing that's been slowly building hype for me personally, and it's the thought of new Nintendo Switch games coming out. Because the Nintendo Switch has the issue that every Nintendo console has,
Oh,
that
yeah,
it
it
comes out,
does.
has a couple cool launch titles, and then there's this wait where you're like, okay, where are the rest? And right now we've got, I know the new Mario game, they're showing off, I don't know if they're showing off at E3 or they're showing off pretty soon, but like, I'm waiting for the more games. They're re-releasing Mario Kart, there's rumors that they're re-releasing Smash Bros. Wii U, but like, I'm sitting here waiting for these new games, and every time I hear a Nintendo Direct is happening, I'm like, oh man, is this gonna be it? Is this gonna be the next one? Is Pikmin 4 coming out? What's happening? And
What's happening?
like
Hey,
that's
Peter.
personally building hype for me, but they also run the risk of not capitalizing on hype.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot of people have said the launch of the Switch this early was kind of them getting early units out to kind of get that out before the holiday rush where they want to kind of bombard everyone this holiday with their new big games. But the problem is the holiday season's too far away from me, and if they wait that long, I'm not going to be interested come November.
Right.
So that is something, that's a fine balance between building hype for new games and losing hype because you're not doing anything with your console.
Okay.
So I thought that was an interesting point.
Tyler?
I don't know. I was just thinking about it. Like, just in general, E3 right now. E3's pretty hype. E3 is like the epitome of hype.
Is that next week?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Jeez, E3's like in a week
Yeah.
or two. Oh my
Man,
god.
I wish I could go. That'd be so great.
I remember back when I was back in 2010, I entered a contest to try to win tickets, or like I think it was IGN was like submit a writing example or like explain why you'd want to go, why you deserve to go, and write for IGN for like a trip there, and I was like, I want to go, and then no, didn't happen.
Was it they back at my school because they were allowing students to go for like a while, and it wasn't last year, it was the year before that. I was trying to go, and it was that year they weren't allowing students to go, and that was like the one year I was able to go. And I was like, son of a bitch. But then last year,
That
they're like,
sucks.
oh, hey, you can come back now. I'm like, oh, thanks. Thanks,
Thank goodness you came to me too
right.
late.
Oh, man. But yeah.
I'm gonna go a completely different way from you guys. I know we've talked about how like you're both definitely more into like anime and stuff like that than I am, but I always remember as a kid, Freeman Priority knows where this is going. I didn't watch a ton of anime. I watched a lot of cartoons and stuff, but I didn't watch a ton of anime. But there's one anime that is the first anime I ever watched, and I'm sure it's that way for a lot of Western people. Actually, I'm not alone in this, but I remember my first like exposure to getting hype about something was Gundam Wing.
Yeah.
Good one.
That show actually doesn't go out of its way to have hype, but there are some moments in that still I'm like, this is the coolest thing, even though I know it's actually not that good. And I like everyone like online, you go online and it's like Gundam Wing's actually like the kind of the middle of the pack, kind of Gundam, whereas like this is really good, and it's like, but I don't care,
my
man.
God, the Gundam
I
fandom
grew up
is,
with Gundam Wing, and Gundam Wing
something
was
else.
so cool.
And then G Gundam came along. We're like, fuck it, Hype City.
Yeah, if you want forced hype, go watch
Hype
G
City,
Gundam.
dude.
The East is burning red.
Fucking Hype City. That entire anime.
We just watched that clip.
It's so good.
But like that was like my first exposure to getting hype, I guess, because I always got excited about shows like Pokemon and stuff like that. Was what I watched when I was super young, and I guess that was anime too. But I didn't think of it as anime. It was just a cartoon where it was like, I want to watch Pokemon because I play Pokemon and I get the cards and I watch the show. But Gundam was like, oh my god, Libra's gonna crash into the earth. And then but Wu Fei gave Hiro his Buster rifle back, so it's okay.
It was a good show, man. It was good.
No, the
It
greatest intro to an episode of that show for me, real quick, when they're in space and they dealt with the moon stuff, and we're kind of heading towards White Fang, and we have the intro where Duo is out in Death Scythe Hell, and they just all it starts off at is like nothing. It's like these Oz troops or something, these space troops, and they just go into an area where this convoy lost contact, and everything goes static, and then you just see one of the mobile suits outside, and he's just like, oh, what's that? And he looks at it, and then it just, you slowly reveal Death Scythe Hell, and it just like, you see this black outline of it, and the green eyes turn on, and then it flips open. It's like stealth wings, and it just starts stretching, and it's like, this is so cool.
And then they kill all those people that they don't talk about.
Well,
The jabronis.
God damn it! Back to wrestling.
dude, all those Oz guys are terrible, and then they kind of aren't. Trace is just such a psycho. It's great. Trace is just a lunatic. I mean, if you're gonna build Epion, you're clearly correct, kind of loopy.
It's fine.
But anyway, we'll wrap up the show here. We don't really have follow-up because last week was games or we wish we could play. Still Witcher, even though I bought Witcher on sale. I bought Witcher 3, but I still haven't played it.
Oh wait, I gotta drop a quick video game ad here.
Okay.
So I'm a huge fan of Life is Strange, and if you
Oh,
have
yeah.
PlayStation Plus, it's free this month for PlayStation Plus owners. So definitely give that game a shot. You know, you don't have to pay anything for it. Just play episode 1. Just do it. It's fun.
Just do it.
Game 2 got announced. We don't know what the deal is, but play the game.
Was there you go.
There, that's my
Yeah, we
announcement.
don't really have any follow-up. We don't have any
No,
Q&A.
I do. I have follow-up. Remember I said
Oh.
I had follow-up? Yeah.
Oh, right, sorry.
So, last week, we were talking about all this stuff, and I was like, oh, hey, you know what? I'm going to go and I'm going to play this game, at least because I was so close to it, close to finishing it. I was playing Grim Fandango.
Yes, I saw you post on
Yeah,
Facebook.
because, yesterday I wasn't doing anything. I was like, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to finish Grim Fandango because I'm super close to the end, and I got to the end. It was definitely one of those campy games. I don't know if I'd recommend it to people. I was telling Leslie about it yesterday, but if you like comedy, it's like an interesting comedy game, but man, it's fucking hard.
Yeah, I remember actually Ed playing it years ago, and he was like, "Man, I have to look up guides for some of these puzzles because they are just crazy."
Yeah, some things you just would never expect. It's your classic point and click adventure game. You know what I mean?
Exactly. It's the era of what the hell do I do now?
Yeah, and I'm like, man, how do people figure this bullshit out? I'm like, I really don't.
Yeah, that's the real
I'm
question.
like, how? You literally have to. It's the equivalent of hitting something with a rock, and then seeing if stuff falls out of the rock, or even the door next to the thing that you're hitting. It's Oh my god, it's crazy. But it was good though. And then what else did I play? So I was like, oh yeah, and then I also got a nostalgic kick, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna play Gran Turismo 5. So I've been playing Gran Turismo 5 recently.
Gran Turismo 5 is a good game. It's way too grindy to unlock vehicles, but the drive mechanics are fun in that game.
Yeah, man, it's good.
I love it.
See, I've always been more of a Burnout or Need for Speed.
Man, I'd rather play
kinda
Burnout.
The
arcadey.
unrealistic but super hype.
Now that's a contrast right there. even though it's funny because Gran Turismo is I think it was like a Japanese publisher, Polyphony, and then like Burnout's EA. Yeah, two completely.
Well, I mean, also
different.
because Gran Turismo was the PlayStation driving
Yep.
game,
Yeah.
And
whereas
This
like,
also brings us back to our hype versus realism argument.
full circle, man, full circle.
well, it's also flipped because Japan's like, let's go with the realistic driving. Can't drive like a crazy person.
Oh, and then Forza came out, and they're like, "Yo, we heard
Yeah.
you like realistic, so you can't even hit like a wall like at 5 miles an hour, or else like you're."
Forza sells really
It
well.
does.
It's also
It
really
is fun, but man,
Like, I used to be a Gran Turismo fanboy, but like, look, Forza's a really fun game series.
Yeah, no, they've been killing it. Actually, it's one of the few Xbox properties that's actually really been doing well. Is Forza, shockingly enough.
yeah, fuck trying to like accidentally hit a wall at 5 miles an hour, and then your axle's broken, and then you can't like drive anymore. It's just like,
Oh,
well,
that
now I have to
sucks.
spend 10 weeks grinding with a worse car to fix that
yeah, it's
axle.
fucking terrible. I'm like, what is this? I'm like, this is not fun. I'm gonna go back to playing Gran Turismo where it's like the right amount of realistic for me.
I mean, like, yeah, like, I remember when 5 came, I was like, this is bullshit. There's no real car damage. And I'm sitting here like, why would you want that? Like, why do you want to drive with your
Those
axle
sim
shattered 'cause
people,
you fucked up
those
the
are
third
the people
turn?
who have like a flight room for Flight Simulator.
Oh my god. But at the same time, those are really
They're
cool.
really cool.
They're cool to look at, never to own.
Yeah,
Oh no.
fuck that. I could never do that.
The only reason I do one of those is to build like we went to Dave and Buster's a little while ago. I got into the battle pod for Star Wars. It was kind of lame. I would rather build my own, but that's the kind of thing I would want to have a joystick and be like, I'm an X-wing pilot, woo. But never like, I'm gonna land this plane like a pro. Get the fuck out of here. Go get your
Get the
pilot's
fuck
Oh,
license.
that
outta
Microsoft
here.
Flight Simulator.
Yeah, no problem, Tim. I'll just tag on, another couple zeros to get my pilot's license. No big deal.
That's not that
Your
expensive.
pilot's license?
It's honestly, if you think about how expensive it would be to build like a pro flight simulator setup, and you could actually have your pilot's license.
I mean, I don't know, man. My friend was telling me about what he had to do, and it sounded too expensive. It's like, fuck that.
But I think those pro setups are also pretty. And what do you get out of having a flight simulator experience?
Not
Like, if you
spending
really
money
want to fly
on flight time.
but if you really want to fly that much, like honestly, why not go get your license?
Because it's expensive.
Because one is dangerous and the other is a waste of money.
True.
I thought you were gonna say they're
Don't do
both
either.
a waste of money.
That's the
I mean,
moral
they're
of the story.
both a
Don't do
waste
either.
of money.
Yeah, really.
Technically. Like,
All right, but
I mean, look, if you're rich and you want a hobby, like Harrison Ford flies as a hobby.
he's fucking rich.
I'm pretty sure he's out of. Yeah, and he crashed.
He did crash.
And look, that's the moral of the story: is don't do this.
Just don't do it.
Stick to movies.
So did John Travolta. I think John Travolta also crashed. I know he has a pilot's license.
Oh my God. Well, regardless, there's our roundabout follow up for last
Right.
week, and we don't have any Q&A, so let's just get to our closing for the week. Tyler, what are you doing this week?
Let's see, what am I doing this week? Playing more Overwatch. Only got one legendary skin out of the bajillion boxes that I played or got. Reading all these comics. Civil War's getting pretty good. I don't know, much.
I wish you talked about comics more because Val is like the DC girl, but you're the Marvel guy.
Yeah, I
Uh-oh.
wanted to get into DC so bad. The only thing I've gotten into so far is Batman. Only thing. Like, I've tried, like, Green Arrow. It's not working. Like, I don't know.
I guess Val's not really a DC girl. She is really into Batman, but she also branched out to like Robin and stuff because of Batgirl.
Oh, yeah.
So she just is like kind of in the whole Bat universe thing, which honestly makes sense because what else do you read in DC? Like, how is a Superman comic?
Actually,
I don't know. I feel like Injustice is like the most interesting thing Superman's ever
yeah.
done.
Well, was it, Final Crisis was pretty good, and that DC made Final Crisis was pretty solid. It was where
Yeah.
what's his face? My God. Basically, the Thanos of the DC universe.
Oh,
Yeah,
Darkseid?
Yeah, he comes out and he fucking like obliterates almost everybody, and he's like trying to, and then everybody's trying to like ascend to like a place where they could like fight him basically, and like Superman gets like fourth dimensional vision, Wonder
Oh
Woman
my
gets like
god.
busted, but like it ends like really lame though, and it's kind of weird.
Aw.
It's good though. I think it's good, and like they do also other like good events like Flashpoint Paradox is really good. Um, Batman
CinemaSins
Doom.
actually out of the blue did a CinemaSins video on that
Yeah,
movie
I
for
wanted to see
Flashpoint.
that. I didn't get a chance to see it, but I want to though.
The movie or
The
the Sins
Sins video. I saw the movie.
The Sins video is pretty funny, and then on Twitter people were ripping into him about how like, oh, this stuff is all explained in the comics, and I think Jeremy, the guy who does the voice, his tweet was, "You don't understand how little I care about the comic associated with this
Blat.
movie."
And plus, to be fair, I mean, he's doing the movie. Like,
Yeah.
and all, like, people are like, yeah, but it's in the comic. Like, okay, well, if he was doing a comic Sins, I'm sure he'd point that out, but he's not, so. Yeah, so,
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty much all I'm doing. I'm probably working more on my world building because I haven't touched it in, like, 2 weeks.
Whoa.
Yeah, surprising, right?
Damn, that's a while. Were you not working on it the other night?
I think I
when we were
was.
playing?
I think I was briefly, but I kept like getting drawn into the conversations that we were having, so I was like, eh.
Good. In the
'Cause
moment.
the thing is, you were the character who had like the least involvement in last week's plot
Yeah, I wasn't
line.
doing much.
Oh, at D&D, yeah.
Well, yeah, I guess you know why? Because I
Well,
was
that's-
super enthralled with. Well, no, I was enthralled with the goddamn ant.
Because you're evil, and we were on like this. We were on the super good. Let's go to
Yeah,
church
I couldn't
plot
even
line.
be there, and then Guts got freaking tilted because Johnny C.
Oh my god, because you and... Oh, no, because Leslie made the...
No,
ant talk.
no, trust me, Guts was way
The
more
sentient
tilted.
ant.
Oh, no, you're talking about Sunday.
Way
Yeah.
more tilted at fucking. Oh, you're talking about this Sunday? I was working on it.
I think
both.
No, we
Were you-
played on Saturday and Thursday. didn't we?
I typically always work on it. In fact, I need to roll up some characters tomorrow. I'm thinking of so I can do more
Oh,
play
snap.
testing on it.
Freeman, what about you?
So the sheer thought of playing more Persona 5 makes me hype.
Bringing it all back
back
together.
again.
But bring it all back. But I'm probably gonna be a little busy this weekend just because my cousin's having his engagement party on Saturday, so I'm gonna be doing that. But Anime Next, my favorite annual convention, is next week, and the site I ordered part of one of my costumes for completely fucked it up, and they're not sending me anything in
Damn.
time.
Nice.
So me and a couple friends we were doing Full Metal Alchemist, and I needed the jacket to be Fuhrer Bradley. But since I can't get the jacket, I'm trying to put together an alternate outfit. The one he wears when he's it's like a black T-shirt and he's got his 4 swords and the suspenders, and he like kills someone inside Al's
yeah.
armor. I forget.
Yeah.
Like the outfit he's wearing, then that's the one I'm going to do because I can realistically do that without requiring any tailoring skills. So I'm probably going to be putting that together this weekend.
Cool.
But in terms of nerdy shit, well, not even nerdy shit, just like what I'm watching. My dad started watching the show on Netflix I've been recommending for a while, Sense8. I saw the first season when it ended last year, and
I've seen that on
I know the
Netflix.
second season came out pretty recently, but I've been busy. But I want to get started on that because my dad is now catching up, and I don't want to let him pass me. Yeah, that show's pretty good. There's a lot of raunchy sex scenes in it, and it's a little weird, but I personally love it. It's a really cool concept.
I'm still playing Dragon Age. I finished Far Cry Blood Dragon.
Yeah.
Gotta say it was a little disappointing. Not bad, but like, there's not much to that
Yeah,
game.
it's the novelty. Like we were talking about last
It's
week.
literally like I literally did the first session, got to the open world bit, and then went off camera and cleared every single outpost, and then recorded one more session. And in an hour and 10 minutes, I beat the game.
Yeah. So
Damn.
that's how it works.
I was like, doing mainline story stuff within like just under 3 hours. I was done.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow, this is pretty short. But now I got to figure out 2 new games because I don't think I'm going to continue my Command and Conquer mod because I suck at it
Damn. Come
a
on.
lot.
Persevere.
Yeah, you should do it. You should do
Yeah,
Yakuza.
you should find and do
I can't.
Yakuza.
No, I'm already watching the
I'll
Let's
loan
Play.
you
I
my
don't want to
PS3.
play it myself.
And you can play a
Ugh,
Yakuza game.
no,
Or I can loan you
I-
my PS3
well-
and you can play somehow. I don't know how you'll do it. Last of Us.
Or I could dig in and do Witcher.
You could do Witcher.
No, I'm
Or
not. I'm
loan
not
your PS2
recording
and we'll
Witcher.
do
I'm
Persona
not
4.
recording Witcher. I don't know. I got to figure it out because Saturday, the last episode of Dragon Age I already recorded goes up, so I got to figure that out. Woo! But watching, I just watch YouTube, man. I've been so bad about watching shows. I've been watching like Magic and it's the one Let's Play channel I watch, man. Like we mentioned him last week, Rich Shea, the guy who streams Legacy and Vintage and stuff. He streams for like 2.5 hours like every few nights, and I just watch the entire VOD most it like whenever I can. It's just like so cool to watch this high level stuff. So
The thing is, for a lot of these players, watching kind of makes me better at Magic.
oh yeah.
Yeah, like you learn about cool plays you wouldn't think of otherwise, and like once in a while you be in a scenario like, oh man, I'm gonna cast this card the way he did and get blah blah advantage.
Yeah.
Like,
It's like you learn so much by.
and I love it. But the thing is, watching Magic is super time consuming.
It is. Like I find myself skipping around his videos sometimes when I'm really bored at work. Like if I'm bored at work, I'll just watch. But if I'm really bored, I'll be like, oh my god, you're just talking about the sideboard for this vintage deck. I can't care that much.
When they tab out and start talking about shit you don't care about.
No, he talks almost completely only about Magic, but he's like, well, this.
Well, yeah, but like he'll be in a game, but then he'll tab like he won't tab out, but he'll like pop open a menu for a different deck in a different format and kind of ignore what
he rarely
you're
does
watching.
that. Very rarely. Only if he's like between games. If he's in a game, he's actually also the kind of person who like never double queues.
Okay,
So he's
good.
almost always focused on the game he's on, and if it's between games, then like lately he's been like streaming the vintage daily, and then if they're like, because that thing can take forever between games, because he'll be like, oh, there's like 3/4 of the game still left going. I'm just gonna go play an EDH game while I'm waiting.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, yes, just let me watch Magic of this caliber. Let me learn. But yeah, so I just have not been a show watcher lately. It also is like I don't have that much time. Like we've all been hanging out so much.
Yeah, it's honestly been hard to find time to do other shit 'cause we're always doing stuff.
Like it's hard,
whether it's
but
playing
it's also
Magic
hard to
or
find
board
time
games.
to binge.
Yeah.
Like
I mean, I forced myself to binge through the last like 3-4 episodes of the most recent Gundam Iron Blood Orphans.
Yeah.
It was worth it. It was a solid finale. I've never been so mad at a show for killing all the main characters right before the finale. But man, like I just managed to squeeze like an hour and a half in to get some progress. But it's honestly hard when you're hanging out and got plans.
Yeah,
there's not a lot of time to just sit around and watch a show alone.
Like if it's not you guys, then I'm like, oh, I'm recording, or I'm with Val for like one fraction of a night. Like, like there's almost always something going on, and it's just so hard to sit down and watch stuff. And then I'm at work, and I'm like, I want to be able to have something, like, you know, not when I'm supposed to be watching stuff, but
Right.
I can like I can have Magic on the other monitor, and then if someone comes by, I just minimize it, and I don't need to see it to know what's happening. But like shows, it's like I need to sit down and focus on this.
Yeah.
Or it's like the end of Gurren, where I've seen it like 1,000 times, and I can just rewatch that.
You don't need to watch; you just listen along.
No, I can just be like, I'll have this on the other monitor, and if I need to minimize, I can. But I just want to watch the hype again. So.
Yeah.
But anyway, that is the TNT podcast
Yeah.
for May 31st, 2017. We did it.
Yeah.
I'm honestly surprised we went this long for this episode.
Yeah, really,
I thought
we
we were
were-
nothing to talk about for hype.
We stayed on the topic way longer. Like it felt like we were slowing down even after like 15 minutes into the topic, and then we just kept going and going. So that's good.
All it took was
Anime,
talking about
see?
anime to make it real.
Will perseveres.
We have to pick a topic that's not related to anime next week.
Yeah, the anime corner
Oh,
is
no.
spreading.
It's infecting the whole
Yeah.
podcast. It's gonna just turn to the anime Japanese podcast.
That's what the N in TNT is. It's actually
my
anime.
God.
Oh no. Let's just call it here. Let's just call it.
And if you flip the TI around, it's ITA. Oh no.
Oh my
It's
god,
anime.
WWE is anime.
Thanks for listening, everybody. We'll catch you
Yep.
next week.
See ya.
See ya.